And I love winning. It's just so much fun.
It's in the name as well, right?
Yeah, win gold. I didn't even realize that it was a possible career, like, at all.
Yeah.
I still don't believe it, to be honest. If I'm really down, I just do what I was saying and just be like, you must enjoy this. You're the luckiest person alive. You're on the other side of the world. You're racing bikes. People are back home at school. Sucks to suck. I was with these guys and one of them was like, I'm not sure you're up for this track because there's gap jumps. And I was like, excuse me, I'm a professional. No. They kept on getting bigger and bigger and I was like, oh, okay. Broke my collarbone. And the guy who said the gap jumps came up and was like, see, I told you there were gap jumps. I don't know. I mean, it's not the original Enduro, but I think we've got to adapt a bit.
Yeah.
If we want the sport to keep sporting, then we've got to adapt.
And we do, right?
I really want the sport to keep sporting.
100%. I'd like to get the sport to keep sporting. Okay, we're in Morzine at Atlas Ride Co, which is the place to go if you fancy a ride and holiday. And I'm joined by Winni Goldsbury. Winni, welcome to the Downtime podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Super stoked to be here.
Yeah, first time podcast, right?
Yep, first ever podcast. A little bit scary, but I'm stoked.
And we've got you ill as well, right?
Yeah, boy. Right in the midst of everything. But
what's been going on?
A lot's been going on, actually.
Yeah.
Well, in Canazay, I got like food poisoning and lost 7 kgs in 3 days.
Whoa.
And then spent 2 weeks trying to get that weight back and then got COVID.
Oh, no way.
And then was sick with COVID for 6 weeks. And now I've got glandular fever.
Yay.
Yay.
Well, how do they fix that? Just rest or?
Lots of sleeping and some antibiotics.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Well, the sleeping part of it's good, but
sleeping part's great. I've just been napping all day.
It feels like a lot of enduro riders especially have been really ill in this summer break.
Yeah, like Ella at the moment, she's got like chronic fatigue or something, which is really gnarly, and so many people have just been knocked out by it, so I'm not sure quite what's going on. We've had a pretty full-on start of the season though, so that might do it.
It was hectic, right? Like return of 2-day racing, and then you were like back-to-back pretty heavy for a good chunk of time.
Yeah, for ages. And we were like going all the way across Europe every day. Like it was ridiculous. And most of the people are driving because the teams aren't super able to support. So we have to all drive across and stuff. So it's like ages of driving every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess, a lot of you at the minute are quite sort of self-supporting, right? There's not much infrastructure around the teams. There's not like heaps of staff to clean your bikes and move everything and drive you about these days.
No, not heaps, but it works well.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, let's get some background, right? First podcast, we can't miss all the background stuff. So where did you grow up first?
I grew up in Aotearoa, New Zealand, in Christchurch.
Okay.
And just grew up biking and skiing.
So you've got a twin brother, Boyd, right?
Yes, I've got a twin brother.
Yeah. And I believe you had bikes handcrafted by your grandfather out of, I'm going to mispronounce the word. Is it kauri?
Kauri trees,
Kauri trees, like from his property, right?
Yeah, his kauri tree in his backyard fell down and he was like, I'm going to build some bikes. So he made my brother and I one each when we were about 2 months old.
Unreal.
And then we started riding them just straight off the bat. And it was
sweet. So riding before you could walk, pretty much.
Yeah. Our parents made us get on the bikes so we could say that we rode before our
Good on them. But both your parents are pretty committed riders, yeah?
Yeah, really committed riders. Like my dad was racing in the 90s and stuff, and now he's a photographer and does like all sorts of stuff. But he's crazy.
Amazing. And we should talk about the level of support that you've had from them.
Oh my God.
And I think today is an example, right? Because I think when we put this in, I thought you were going to be based in Morzine. Turns out today you're based in Morion, which is an hour or so away. You don't have a car. So your father commuted by bike, on your bike, I think, to Le Carreau to borrow a friend's car to then go back to Morion, pick you up and drive you over here to sit down for a chat.
Yep. I'm pretty lucky. He was like, oh, because I was going to come stay here, but I was too sick. And I was like, I just want to stay somewhere away from everyone.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, yeah, that'll work fine. I've got an idea. And then he took my bike and was like, I'm going to get my mate's car from just over there. And I was like, okay, sure. Thank you.
Sweet.
You're amazing.
That is cool. How long's he out for?
He's here for 1 month and then we leave to go back to New Zealand together.
Yeah. Amazing. And they're both into mountain biking, both your parents. Yeah. Your mum still competes.
Yeah, my mum's like national champ for enduro and downhill, I think. And she rips. She goes so hard. She loves it. She's like the most colorful human being I've ever met. And I always, when I'm racing, I wear mismatched socks. And like always bright colors just to nod to her a little bit because she always does that. But
that's cool. So you've had some good influences growing up, right? Like,
yeah, really good influences.
It was fairly obvious that you were going to get into bikes, I assume.
Yeah, I kind of had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also grew up around like Charlie and stuff. So I was always... Like I knew him pretty well when he
Charlie Murray.
Charlie Murray. And he was like always taking us skiing and biking and then coaching me for skiing. And then somehow that became biking as well. And then he let me go on his team. So yeah.
Yeah, result. That is cool. So yeah, talk us through like, obviously you ride in your mountain bike and you've got those influences from your parents. You started racing at a pretty young age as well. Was that like a natural thing for you? Is it something your parents wanted you to do? Like,
yeah, my mum was like, oh, there's this Gals on Dirt race here in Christchurch, just like next weekend. Do you want to do that? And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And then I raced it and won out of, I think, one person, me. And I was like, oh, yo. And then raced an elite the next time and came second when I was, I think, 12 or 13.
Fair dues.
And I was like, yo, this is mean.
So naturally you were like fast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure it was natural. I was always forced to do it, so it became habit, you know.
But were you enjoying it at that point? You say you're forced to do it, but like...
Yeah, I hated it until I was about 6, and then I just started loving it.
Yeah. Do you know what switched? Like what turned it from being something you hated to something you loved?
Well, sorry. We got a bike park when I was 10, just at where in Christchurch.
Yeah.
And that really pushed me into like riding more because I hated going uphill. But when I was 6, I think I started appreciating that you've got to go up to go down.
Okay.
So I was like, I can pedal. It'll be fun on the way down. It's just pain on the way up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sweet. Is that Christchurch? Is it Christchurch Adventure Park or something?
Yeah,
it's
the
called?
Christchurch Adventure Park.
Yeah. Is it good riding that? I've never been.
It's like, I always think of it being terrible, but coming here, no, this sounds bad. Coming here, it's like, there's so many tracks there.
Okay.
Like just tons of riding. And it's always dusty or always slippery. And it's about 10 minutes of hero dirt in between. But they're worth it, those 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah, that's perfect. And it's quite close to the city, right?
Yeah, it's 5 minutes from where I live. Biking, so it's mean.
Amazing. Yeah, that's perfect to have. So yeah, talk us through those early race experiences then. You had some success early doors, 1 of 1, but then 2 of 2 in elite, which is pretty cool. Were you enjoying the winning? Were you just enjoying racing? Like what kind of captured you about it?
I really enjoyed the community. Like,
okay.
I love people. I just love talking to people all the time. And I did that race and it was just women. And I was like, yo, everyone, like there are other girls who ride bikes. Like I just didn't know that.
Okay, yeah, because you got a brother and father riding.
Exactly. And I was like, oh, well, this is like a whole thing. There are other girls who ride. And then I love winning. It's just so much fun.
It's in the name as well, right?
Yeah, win gold. But yeah, so I was like, oh my God, kind of got hooked on winning. And then realized that there's actually other things about racing than winning. And it's all mean. So I love all of it. But yeah.
Yeah. And what kind of racing were you doing initially? Was it enduro or because you've done downhill and enduro, right?
Yeah, I started doing downhill because I hated going uphill. Still hate going uphill, but I deal with it. But so I started racing downhill and then I like the vibes weren't super positive in the scene sometimes. It felt like the pressure was a bit weird. And then when I was about 14, I was like, hey, there's like up and down races. And I went and watched the NZ Enduro, which was so sick. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to be doing. And then started racing from then.
Yeah. And talk us through that progression then. So like I've gone back on Roots and Rain as far as I can. I think 2021 was the first result they had for you there, which was national champs. And then 22, 23, you were doing some national downhill kind of stuff. Like how was it going for you and how did you envisage your life with bikes kind of panning out at that point?
Yeah. When I was like younger, I was like, oh yeah, just a hobby, you know, I'm going to go to university and do life things and deal with the world. I just accepted that and was like, nah, nothing's going to happen. And then, and that was when I was mainly racing downhill, and I was like, yeah, I just didn't want to push enough. Like, I was just too scared.
Okay. You didn't want to crash.
Didn't want to crash that much. But then I started racing a bit more downhill and got a downhill bike, which made me go, oh my God, this is crazy. And then I was like, oh, maybe I could do this as a future. And like all my friends who are also racing downhill were thinking about doing it as a future, like Eris and Sasha and Ali. They were all like, oh yeah, you know, this is what I'm going to do. And I was like, that's so cool that I didn't realize it was possible.
Okay.
And then when I switched to Enduro, I was like, okay, I'm doing well in national champs. I wonder what would happen if I tried in like the real world, you know, I'll see what happens. And then I was just like, I didn't even realize that it was a possible career, like at all.
Yeah.
I still don't believe it, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so 2024 then, you were national enduro champion, not just in your age category, but you were the fastest woman on the day.
Yeah, I was fastest woman in the day, and I'm trying to remember it. I was pretty surprised because I had a few mechanicals, and Ray Morrison, who I was racing, like kind of idolized her a bit, and I was like, oh my God. I looked at the stage results and I was like, oh my God, I bit Ray in a stage. Oh my God, what? This is crazy. And then I just somehow ended up winning that, and that was so cool. And then I was like, far out. Like, I actually have to go overseas now because I've got the sleeve, so I like have to. And then I had the whole stress of trying to find the sleeve because you can't actually get them in New Zealand. I borrowed Sasha's old one, and it was a whole process. But then I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, I have to actually go overseas because I got to take the opportunity.
Yeah, you got to represent, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. So 2024, you did make it overseas and you went to a couple of Enduros. What did it take to kind of make that trip happen? Like, you weren't on a team or anything at that point, I don't think?
No, I did, like, I got my local club, they gave me a grant to go to Europe.
Ah, sweet.
Which was amazing because it paid for my flights, and that was pretty much all I paid for the whole trip.
Yeah.
I got to Leo Gang 2 days before racing. So jet lagged. It was so dumb. I was so stupid.
Were you coming back from a broken hand as well?
Yeah, I broke my hand and concussed myself about 4 weeks prior to that.
Okay.
And I was like, I was so mad at myself when I did it. I was just sitting there crying on the side of the track going, no, I've wrecked it.
So the trip was planned at this point, all right?
Yeah, I had booked my tickets. I was ready to go. And then, so I flew in and then got a lift with my friend Mike, who works for Maxis.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, oh, so stoked, you know, like, because he knows my dad from way back. And then took me over to Leo Gang and was just like, all right, you can stay with us for the week. And I was like, thank you so much. But I can get accommodation elsewhere. I don't want to be annoying. And then I went and stayed with Matt Fairbrother.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just carnage. Like, I should have stayed with Mike. It was so silly. I should have just stayed there. But it was all good.
What was going on at Matt's place?
Well, I got there. It was an hour bike ride from Leo Gang.
Okay, to the accommodation.
Yeah. And I got there and I had to like sign in or something. And the lady couldn't speak any English and I couldn't speak any German, but she was so lovely and she was like, just take my dog. So I was looking after her dog and then sitting just outside because she wanted to go home to grab the keys to the place. And then I was sitting there just patting this dog for like an hour and a half and I was living the dream. And then Matt showed up at 3 a.m. because he had biked there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I just didn't sleep at all because I was waiting for Matt to get there to open the door for him. And then was racing like the day after. And I was like, oh.
Not the easiest way to start your first Enduro World Cup, right?
It was so silly.
How did it feel being there? Because obviously that's your first time amongst like all these people that I guess you've been looking up to and, you know, watching on TV and stuff. Yeah,
well, like I was just so confused. My friend Xanthi was there already and she just was like, just come with me. Okay, I'm going to show you everything. And I was like, thank you, you're amazing, I love you. And then I was riding with all these girls in our category and I was like, oh my God, I am so slow. I was so jet lagged on practice day. I was like, far out, I shouldn't have even come over here. No point, I'm going to be like top 10 10, top 20 maybe if I'm lucky in junior women. And I was like, no, why did I do this? I'm so mad. But it was definitely surreal going over there because I was not, like, I'd never been anywhere really with my bike. And then to go straight to one of the craziest bike parks ever and like be racing a World Cup was mad to me.
How did you turn that around then to go from like jet lag, bit of a mess, living an hour away from the race, kind of thinking you're slow, to what happened on race day? Like, how do you change?
Well, I arrived at Matt's place 2 days beforehand. Then I moved into my friend Xanthi's place because I was like, this is not a good environment. I'm getting out of here. No offense, Matt, he's a G. But I went and stayed with my friend Xanthi, and she was 5 minutes from the venue, and her dad was there and he was cooking food. And also, like, I just got so hyped. I was like, oh my God, I am the luckiest person alive right now. Like, I get to be racing World Cups. What? This is mad. I'm 17 on the other side of the world with none of my family, and I'm racing a World Cup. So lucky. And that's what I try to always do, just like totally flip my mindset if I'm feeling bad. Just be like, oh my God, just be hyped. So I was just so hyped and made me feel so much better on race day.
Yeah, how did that race day go? Because you walked away with first place, right?
It was not my best race, actually.
Yeah, I heard there was some, like, it was a challenging day out.
Yeah, well, I think I must have set up my bike wrong when I took it out of my bike box because I lost my chain in every single stage.
Nice.
Which is so embarrassing. And I was seated like last because I'd never done a World Cup before. And I dropped in behind my friend Emmy, and she had a hugie. And I caught up with her while she was lying in the middle of the track, and the marshal sticks out his flag and he's like, you gotta stop. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I stopped, and then Emmy lifts herself up in her bike and jumps off the side of the track into the bushes and is like, go Winnie, go. And I'm like, okay. And the marshal's like, no, you must wait. And I'm like, no. And then just went, but it was so funny. But she was the best person to have crashed in front of me because she just chucked herself off the track.
She took one for the team.
Yeah, she was a legend.
How did it feel then to take a win in your first ever Enduro? Having come from, like, I don't think I'm fast enough, I might do a top 10 if I'm lucky, to a pretty comprehensive win.
Yeah, I was like totally mind blown. I got to the end and was like, I think there's some photos of me just standing there like, what? And then my mum called me and was like, Winnie, you won. And I was like, yeah. And then I went up on the podium and I didn't know how to do any of it. But luckily my best mate Simona was there, and we didn't know each other super well then. But she was like, we were sitting outside and she just trained me. She was like, okay, you go up and you have to hold this with your left hand and this with your right hand. Do this and this and this and this. And I was like, okay then. But she just taught me how to do it because she'd been up there a fair few times.
Smart. Handy having the right people around you. Again,
exactly.
It feels like it came down to that, right?
Yeah.
You were your like community or network that you'd built is kind of what got you through that, it sounds like.
100%.
Like they were on the ground, people you knew that knew what they were doing that could kind of take you through it. So all those hours grafting and chatting to people back home was worth it.
Yeah, it's always about the people. Everyone does everything.
Sweet. So you come out of Leergang, I guess, feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I was so stoked. I'd never been more stoked in my whole life, to be honest.
Well, how did you feel coming into, was it Combloux next?
Combloux, yeah. I felt a bit of pressure, to be honest. I don't usually feel pressure, but I was like, I've got to win this one because I want to get back to back. And I have like everyone at home was like, oh my God, you got this. You can do it again. And I didn't have the most positive mindset, but in my first stage, I definitely didn't have a positive mindset. But then I didn't do great in the first stage. But after that stage, I was like, come on, did my mindset flick thing and then just had a good day the rest of the day.
Talk me through your mindset flick thing. What's going on there?
My mindset flick thing, I just like, if I'm really down, I just do what I was saying and just be like, you must enjoy this. You are the luckiest person alive. You're on the other side of the world. You're racing bikes. People are back home at school. Sucks to suck. I'm not doing that. I need to be happy about this. But yeah, so I do that. So I did that and then crashed a couple times, which I was fine with. Like I just kept on going. I was like, that doesn't matter. I'm keeping on going. I don't care. But yeah.
And you took the win.
Yeah.
You did it back to back. First two World Cups.
I was so stoked. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah. I was so lucky. But I don't know. And then yet again, just everyone was so supportive and amazing. And like, I was just so stoked. I was on a high that was unbeatable. And I was just like, I made so many friends that weekend because by then everyone like, because the first race, everyone kind of ignored me because they were like, oh, who's this weirdo? But then by the second race, everyone was like, oh, it's Winnie. We know Winnie. Yeah, Winnie. She won the last one. Yeah. And then so everyone was amazing and just made friends so easily then.
That's cool. So it's a good crew in under 21s at that point.
Oh, yeah. We had the best crew. And like even this year, we all hang out together. Everyone's like, all the U21 crew are friends.
That's
so
amazing,
sick.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really cool because ultimately you're competing against each other, but you managed to maintain that friendship.
It doesn't feel like we're competing against each other.
Really?
No, yeah.
Even when it's like crunch time and you got a race on.
I don't know, like Simona and I, the whole time, we're just having vibes. We're just living our best lives. But
yeah. I don't know. And you, am I right in thinking you talk to yourself mid-race?
Yes.
Is there a lot of monologue going on?
Yes, kind of constant. Often I'm yelling at myself.
So is this out loud?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you video me, I'll be talking. Yeah. I had a little bit of a bad one at La Tuile where I was singing to myself. And then I got distracted because I was singing and then went really slow and crashed. And I was like, far out. What am I doing?
What, singing a song or making up a song?
Singing a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it helps you get into a bit of a flow or what? Like,
if I'm riding, not racing, then it's good because then I'll do like pops and jumps and be steezy and stuff.
Okay.
But if I'm racing, then I don't think it's very good.
Interesting. So are you trying to do less talking to yourself when you race? Or
I think talking's fine. Just singing's not fine.
Singing's a bit too chill.
Yeah.
You seem to be having fun in La Tuile. I saw a video I think UCI put out the other day just before the night stage. And I don't know how much coffee you'd had, but you were hyped.
Yeah, they were like, how many Red Bulls have you had, Winnie? Because my team doesn't let me drink Red Bull anymore.
Ah, okay. Because I heard you got a bit of an addiction.
No, it's not an addiction. I've only had like 4 in my life. But at finale, I had one after racing and I was cooked. And then I was just shaking and like bouncing off the walls. And my mechanic was like, Winnie, you got to stop.
This is not good.
This is not okay. But yeah, so they banned me from Red Bull. But I hadn't had any Red Bull. But I'd gone for a swim.
Okay.
And then chatted with my friends and then come back and I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool. And my friend Simona was winning. And I was like, this is insane. Like, this is so sick. A win for her is like just the coolest thing ever. So I was just so stoked and I was just bouncing off the walls with no Red Bull.
Yeah. I was going to ask about that because you were kind of smoking Simona in 2024. And then this year, you know, you're up there, you're battling, but like Simona's the one that's taken a race win this year. How you're obviously very good friends. Like, how does that work? And how Simona kind of moved like so far forward from last year? I
think she trains. Like, I don't train, which is a problem, and I need to work on it.
Okay.
But she works her ass off. Like, she's so strong. And also, I think like last year, she didn't have a really positive attitude. But then when we started becoming friends, she was telling me the other day, actually, she was like, whenever I'm around you, you're just so stoked. And I need to get that. And then this year she's just taken on the stoke and she's just been having so much fun. And she's had a really consistent like season. She hasn't had any problems and stuff, which has been amazing because it's so cool to see her on top.
Yeah, it is cool. I saw her in the press conference at La Tuile and you could tell she was just like so stoked to be there and so buzzing. And she was obviously like a huge Loic Bruni fan and like she was pretty much sat next to Loic in the press conference. And like the excitement was just pouring out of her. It was brilliant to see, to be fair.
After that press conference, she came up and was like, Winnie, I was sitting next door to Loic Bruni. And I was like, sick, dude. And she was like, yeah, it was crazy. And he talked to me. I was like, oh my God.
It was very, very cool. Talk us through that night stage then, because that was pretty special. Like, I was skeptical, but it turned out to be absolutely mint. It must have been well fun to race.
Oh my God, it was so sick. It was crazy fun. Yeah, I struggled with it a little bit because a while ago, at Poland, I had a concussion and I still have a little bit of effects from it.
Okay.
And the lights kind of mess with my head a bit.
Interesting.
And also I have my little amazing robots on my bike.
Okay.
Flight attendant, there we go, we got the word. And they were doing a wee disco. And then I was just getting so confused because there were too many lights and my brain was not working. But no, it was so much fun. And like, it was just crazy vibes. Like, I think it had more spectators than most of the downhill did.
It was really good. Yeah,
it was just so sick standing up there, hearing the chainsaws just the whole way down the track.
Especially that like rock garden section was so loud.
Oh my God, it was so sick. I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. It's different, different to anything. But I think it's really good for the sport. At first, I was a bit like, someone's going to pull out the batteries for the lights and then it's going to all fail and I'm not going to be able to see. But no one did, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, and the lights were bright, right? Like it
really
was
bright.
Pretty good to ride in, I would say.
Yeah. It was really bright. It was good.
You think we should have more of that kind of stuff?
I'm keen.
Yeah.
I'm so keen. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's not the original Enduro, but I think we've got to adapt a bit.
Yeah.
If we want the sport to keep sporting, then we've got to adapt.
And we do, right?
I really want the sport to keep sporting.
100%. I'd like to get the sport to keep sporting. It's cool though. Like it brought so many people in, and I think that's the key thing, right? Like people that maybe wouldn't go and watch a race.
Yeah.
Like there was a good vibe. Everyone had beers on the hill. The bar was still open at the bottom. And it finished with a party. Like what's better?
Sick.
Yeah.
So mean. I loved it. It was so much fun. Yeah.
Amazing. We should flip back to 2024 because you finished off by having a crack at World Cup downhill as well. You were in Leger and had a little go there. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I had a go in Leger. It was a bit of a shambles, but I had the best time. I made so many friends and we were just lapping practice and it was so sick.
What a track as well.
Oh my God, what a track. Yeah, it was mean. I had so much fun. But race run went a bit sideways. I got a bit too stoked and then crashed pretty much like halfway down.
Okay.
And then caught up with the girl in front of me about 2/3 of the way down and then followed her the rest of the track. It's grand. And she wasn't hitting any of the features. And I was like, oh no. But she was lovely at the bottom. She was like, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were behind me because everyone was loud and I couldn't hear you. And I was like, yeah, that's all good.
Yeah. But, it is a busy hill with spectators, that one. It's pretty insane. I can imagine it being hard to hear a rider shouting or even a marshal whistle kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. But it was still mean and they cancelled our finals anyway. So I was like, but hey.
Such is life. Do you think we'll see a downhill track again? Like, is there aspiration for more of that?
Maybe. I'd like to give it another crack, to be honest. We'll see what happens.
Can you not just borrow Loic's bike and
I should. I should try.
Surely that's on the cards.
I don't know. No, they thought about it at the start of the season.
Okay.
They were like, oh yeah, maybe we'll see what happens. Laurent was kind of keen.
Yeah.
And then it just never happened. Like I kept on having concussions and being sick and like all this. So.
Yeah, maybe another year, but
maybe next year.
But you'd be tempted.
I'm so tempted. I want to do any racing.
Really? You're like, you just want to race?
I want to race. I love racing. Yeah. It's so much fun.
Sweet. So you finished up 24. I think you broke a collarbone and kind of ended that Euro trip, yeah?
Yeah.
What happened?
I was just lapping Morzine. And then I was with these guys and one of them was like, oh, I'm not sure you're up for this track because there's gap jumps. And I was like, excuse me, I'm a professional. No.
Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? I was like, what the hell? I can do gaps? What are you talking about? And then we were just going down and then they kept on getting bigger and bigger. And I was like, oh, okay, there's something. And then I was like just pulling more and more for each one. And then I pulled really hard for one because I couldn't see the landing. Turns out I didn't need to pull for it at all.
Oh, no.
And then just landed all the way down on the flat and then broke my collarbone. And the guy who said the gap jumps came up and was like, see, I told you there were gap jumps. And I was like,
if I wasn't on the floor, I would knock you out.
I would hit you so hard right now. It's so funny though.
That's a gutting way to end the season, but
yeah,
I guess a fun trip at least.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
But it kind of sucked because they couldn't do surgery on me while I was here because I was 17. So they made me get on a plane and like just, just right next door to someone. And then my collarbone was just squished and I could feel it crunching the whole flight.
Back to New Zealand?
Yeah.
Because that's close.
Oh yeah, it was only like 35 hours.
Oh, mate.
It was so great. And with my bike bag and everything. But it was all good. And I got home and then they were like, oh, you don't need surgery. I was like, and then 3 weeks later they were like, you do need surgery. Come now.
Oh, man.
Like, thanks, guys.
So a bit of a late start to the off season then, I guess. So you had to get that all fixed up, or were you I guess you came back early, so.
It was all good. I came back early. I got some ski season in even.
Nice.
It was mean.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all good. And then straight into the New Zealand racing series.
Yeah. And like, you've obviously had a good 24. You've seen the possibility by getting those race wins. And I'm assuming at that point, you're like, I'm coming back.
No, I wasn't really. I was like, if I got anything from any teams or like anything, then I was like, oh yeah, I'll come over. But I was like applying for university and everything, getting ready. And then Charlie messaged me and was like, hey, just if nothing comes up this season, like if no one's keen, flick me a message and I'll sort something out. And I was like, okay. And then I flicked him a message in about October, I think, and was like, hey, like I haven't had any offers and I haven't been able to contact anyone really. And he was like, oh yeah, we'll be keen to have you on. I was like, oh, sure, bro.
That's amazing.
And then in January, we got everything a bit more sorted.
Yeah.
And then it was pretty last minute with everything, but we worked it all out and it was mean.
Yeah, amazing. That is really cool.
Yeah, I'm so lucky.
Were you like, when did you know you were definitely going? Like October or January?
Well, I knew I was going to come for some races in October.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going to come for the whole season in like January. But then about, I think it was March, Charlie was like, oh, do you want to come to Sea Otter? And I was like, yeah, I do. So then we left like a month later to go to Sea Otter. So it was so last minute.
That is pretty last minute.
It was mean.
Good effort. So did you do much training over the winter? Like you've had this experience of winning. I guess you think you've got it dialed at that point, right? Like did you go to a gym? Like what's been going on?
Well, I didn't think I had it dialed. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go into elite and be way back. But that's okay. I just rode like I normally ride. I spent the whole summer just riding. It was mean. I'm not very good at the whole gym thing. I get bored and I'm like, oh, I just want to go ride my bike. But I need to work on that. I'm going to work on that over this summer. Simona's inspired me.
Okay. So did you do any gym or was it literally like you're just out putting laps in, learn like getting faster on a bike?
Yeah, just out putting laps in, which probably isn't good. I need to get more training. But.
Is there a structure to it though? Do you like, I'm going to do like this many big rides a week and I'm going to do this much downhill laps? Like, are you putting that to it or? Yeah,
kind of. I had this thing for a while, which I was doing where I was like, I'll try and do every week. I'll do a pedal, which is 500 watt, just a chill pedal.
Yeah.
And then also a pedal, which is 1,500 watt in a week.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And then park laps.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you kind of covered, like you've got the downhill speed, you've got a big day, and then you've got a more chilled kind of thing going on for a bit of recovery and
exactly. But I'm not sure it was correct training. Like I don't know anything about that. I need to learn and I need to get a coach and things, but I haven't.
Okay. Is that this off season's plan? Then you'll get a coach on board and
my plan for this off season is to learn as much as I can about like racing, because if I want to do it properly, I gotta. But
again, this is where that network of people comes in, right? I guess you can sit down with all these people that you've met and be like, right, what are you doing? How does this work? Who's a good coach? Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know.
So you did Crankworks back at home, which is cool. So you've got some like international level quality racing on home soil, and then like you say, you went off to Sea Otter. What was that like as an experience? I've never been, but it looks kind of cool.
It's so sick. It's like, well, we got there the day before racing, the night before racing, and then got to the place where we were staying at about 11:30, and then got up at 6:30, and then went straight to the Enduro. The Enduro was about the most horrible race I've done in my life. No offense, Sea Otter, good vibes, but it was just a road race, bro.
It was a pedal fest, right?
I was not built for that. After coming off a like 30-hour flight or whatever, I was just not ready. But it was so much fun. Like all the people, like Julie was there, Julie DeVoe.
Yeah.
She was there, and I know her from racing in New Zealand and then racing overseas last year. And she was just like, oh my God, you gotta come, and then showed me everything and was like, oh yeah. And then we just hung out at the Specialized pits, which was so cool. The setup was insane and the dual slalom was so good, and we were just running events the whole time, and Amazing. It was like such a cool event. Like I'd never seen so many mountain bikers in one place.
Yeah, that is really cool, eh? How was the slalom? You raced, right?
It was so much fun. It was like awesome. I think I got to quarterfinals.
Okay.
And which was amazing because I'd never done a dual slalom before, really. Like, I think I'd done one at the Crankworks, and other than that, never anything. And I was like, oh my God, this is mad. And it was just so fun. And there were all these lovely people. And also like Caroline Buchanan was there and all these people. And I was like, whoa, big deal. Okay. But it was so fun.
Nice. Cool to line up against some of those, right?
Yeah, I raced Caroline and I caught up to her on one section.
Wow.
Because there were just flat corners. And I was like, yo, I can do this part. That's the one section I was actually not bad on. It's so funny.
That's cool. Was that someone you've kind of idolized then?
A little bit, yeah. Like, I didn't know her until 3 years ago. And then I like started realizing how insane she was. Like, just how amazing athlete she is. Like,
serious talent.
Yeah.
For sure. And when did you get bikes then? So you were kind of late getting things set up. When did you actually get specialized bikes to start testing and getting ready for the season?
I got my first specialized in January.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about it since October, and then I was away and they were away and everyone was like here and there and everywhere. And then I got it in January and it was not the S-Works model. It was a pretty green one. I chose it because of the color. Everyone got so mad at me. They were like, oh, what bike are you going? And they were like, you can choose anyone you want, whatever you want. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was just looking at the website and I was like, oh, green. And then went with that one. And then my friend Ollie, he was like, you chose the one with the bad specs over the one with the best quality specs because it was green and pretty. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you are not a mountain biker. This is not allowed. And I was like, what?
You can always upgrade the bits.
Yeah, exactly. Who cares?
Easy. And you've been riding the Stumpy this year, right? Same as Charlie. You've not gone with the Enduro. Was that like, I'm short of time, I'll follow what Charlie's doing? Was there some testing? Like, what made you go that way?
I mainly went with that one because then I was like, well, with the Stumpy, because I was like, oh, well, then we only need like one spare of everything. Yeah. And that's been pretty good. But yeah, I just did it because Charlie was on it, and then I talked to Charlie about it a bit, and he was like, yeah, I did some testing a couple years ago and found this one was a little bit faster. And I was like, okay, Charlie knows all, I'll follow that.
Job done. It must be good having Charlie on the team and on your side, right? Like, yeah, super smart, switched on. Like you say, he's done all that back to back, put all the graft in. You'd just be like, Charlie, what should I do here? Okay, sweet. Yeah. He's just he's so knowledgeable, and he's like kind of grown up in a similar situation as I have, and like I've known him for so long, so I trust him so much, and just like he just helped me with everything. Like when I was sick, he was like, "Oh, you got to do this, this, and this," and I'm like, "Okay, Charlie, I'll do that." Got a concussion. Do this, sorted out everything, got me a physio who was good with brains and stuff, and he sorted me out so much, and I was like, thank you, Charlie, you're the best. But I owe him so much, honestly. He's just done everything for me. I'm so lucky. That is awesome. And you've been over in Europe like all season, right? Since Seattle, pretty much, with Charlie and the crew hanging out.
I think we're going to be here by the end for 6 months. So I've been here for 5 months, and it's been a long time.
That's a big shift.
Yeah, but it's like it's been so much fun, and the team's like my family now. They say that they're all my uncles because they're all so much older than me. But yeah, it's just so much fun. I've really loved it.
Yeah. Have you been based in Morzine the whole time?
No. Well, kind of. Charlie's friend Sean lives in Chamonix. Okay. And he owns a bunch of chalets, and he's been amazing and just letting us stay there for quite a bit. So in the pre-season, we stayed there for 4 weeks. Okay. And that was so good because it's just like perfect setup. It's like hot tub, gym, sauna, and amazing biking just outside the door. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is mean. And in Chamonix, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I'd never really been to anywhere like that with crazy mountains. And I was like, whoa, Mont Blanc right there.
Yeah, it's insane, eh?
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's a proper spot. And then you've been dotted around with races, I guess. Like it's been pretty hectic since. And then in Morzine in this like summer break.
Yeah, in the 6 weeks break, I've just been staying with some friends. It's been carnage, but it's been so much fun. Yeah. I
was going to say hard to get structured training in when you're here because you're just going to want to smash out laps, but then you don't do that anyway, so it's easy.
Yeah, I've been doing some pedaling, but then I keep on being sick. Like I had COVID for 6 weeks, which was not ideal. So I was training through that, which I think made me have COVID for 6 weeks, which was a bit dumb. So I possibly should have just taken a break for a couple of days and let it go away and then gone back to training. So I'm not sure how prepared I am for the next one, but we'll see.
Fair enough. Let's talk a bit about this season then. So you made that step up to elite. Was that like an intimidating move? How did you feel about that?
Yeah, it was like I just came in with low expectations because I didn't want to be disappointed, I just came in like, yeah, I'm racing. I just want to be here and have fun. And I had so much fun in the first race. I was like, oh my God. But I also did not push as much as I should have. Okay. I knew that from like the first second. And then Poland, I was so stoked beforehand because it's the sort of conditions I love. I love wet. If it's wet, the race is going to go better for me usually. Okay. Except for in Poland. And then crashed on stage 2 and concussed myself. Kept on racing till top of stage 4, I think. And then I like passed out at the top of the stage and I just remember Morgan standing in front of me going, Winnie, you need to stop. This is stupid. You're going to hurt yourself. And Alice sitting there going, Winnie, can you see me? Can you hear me? And me being like, yeah, I can hear you. And then John, our videographer, Charlie, my videographer, he's like, I trust everything he says. John knows all. He knows everything. He came up and was like, Winnie, you need to stop. You're going to hurt yourself. And I was like, okay, John. And then just went down the hill and slept for like 4 hours. But yeah. And then, yeah, so it was a bit of a big step up coming to elite, but also it was not. Like, it kind of was natural, but then it felt like a big step up, but I think it's kind of the same. Because, I mean, like, it's the same people who are competing for doing well.
Yeah, a lot of those names from U21 are, like, doing really well this year in elite, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like Lily's top 5 in the series, like the overall series, like, she's just been so consistent and it's just bumped her up. And then Simona's just been smashing it like all around pretty much.
Yeah, super
cool. And then
Ellie
did really well in Poland and that was sick.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, some cool new names kind of coming through from the U21 ranks. So Ludenville, like, were you feeling back to normal by then?
Ludenville, beforehand, Charlie was like, I don't know if you should race, Winnie. I think you need to have more time. And I was like, mate. and then was like, I'm sorry, Charlie, I'm not going to take your advice here. I think I'm going to race. And he was like, okay, just do practice day and see how it feels. And I was like, okay. Practice day was fine. I felt great. And then race day, I started and I felt really bad. Like when I woke up, I was just like, my head was everywhere and I was not feeling good. And I was like, no, I'm ignoring this. I'm pushing through. I don't care. I'm here to do this. I don't care. And then I think I came second in stage 1, which was quite surprising considering how I was feeling. And then I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then just like kept on having so much fun. I think I crashed in stage 3 because I was too hyped, but it was all good. It was only a minor crash and then just hopped up and kept on going.
And took a podium finish for the first time in 3rd place.
Yeah, that was so crazy. I was so excited. Oh my God. Simona, like I got to the bottom and Simona just tackles me, lifts me up and is like, Winnie! I'm like, whoa, okay. But it was pretty sick. I was just so stoked. And like, especially because I think I'm the first ever Kiwi woman to get on the podium for an EDR. Sweet. Which is pretty sick. And
that's very cool, yeah.
Also the youngest person, so that was pretty mean.
Nice. Couple of records.
Woohoo. Yeah, I don't know. But it was pretty sick. So I was just stoked.
Yeah.
And then Charlie gave me this hat, which is the hat that he wore on his first ever podium and was like, you got to wear this on the podium. And I was like, okay then, I'll wear it. Sorry.
And that's become your hat, clearly.
Yeah, it's become my hat now.
To Charlie.
No, he's never getting it back. It's kind of gross, but I'm keeping it.
It's all good. And I guess you weren't expecting it, right? Like you didn't go into that day feeling it's all good by the sounds of things.
No, I thought about pulling out on the way up to the first stage because I was like, my brain's not working. This is just going to be a waste of time and I'm going to get worse after this. No, it was all good.
Yeah, and some confidence then, I guess.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, and then then was it Leogang?
Leogang, yeah, which obviously you're familiar with from the previous year. But the tracks I think were quite a bit better.
Way more interesting. Way more interesting. Yeah, I came into it with a positive mindset because I got my first podium and I was like, oh my God, I can actually do this. This is not too bad. And then I was doing so well for the first two stages. No, for the first half of the day or whatever. I was doing so well and I was in second and I was like, oh my God, this is my life goal. I was like, oh, this is so sick. And then I think, what was it? I don't know what stage it was, but there was this one stage and I just crashed like 5 times in a row.
It was really wet, right?
It was so wet, which I usually love. Like, I don't know what was going on there. But
that place there's so many routes wanting to take you down in Leogang. When that's wet, it's like, that's what you're into, right?
Yeah, I love it. I loved it last year because it was also wet last year.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened. I was just on the grass and kept on crashing on the easy flat bits. It was so embarrassing.
No way.
But and then I was really upset for that stage, and then I had to do my mindset changing again, and then I was back on for the last ones.
Yeah, and another podium.
Yeah, managed to cling on to it till the end.
When you've had a rough ride as well through an event like that, to be able to still stick it on the box must feel. Again, it's like, okay, it's not the result maybe you were hoping for, but like it's another confidence boost.
Yeah, 100%. It made me feel like I can actually like get on the podium and actually do well. And I was like, oh my God, if I'd just done this and maybe I would have got a second. It's like, no, it doesn't matter. What happened. Next time.
Yeah, and then the illness crept in, wasn't it? I think Valdefassa.
Yes.
I think you did the first, it was a 2-day, you did the first day, right?
I did the first day and I vomited like 3 times whilst riding through my helmet, which was
classy.
Quite lovely. And then I was like, oh, this is not worth it. I'm not racing. We're not riding properly. I can't hold on to my bars because I'd lost 6 kgs or 7 kgs or whatever. And I was just like, this isn't worth it. So I just stopped after that, which Charlie thought was a good idea. So Charlie knows all.
Charlie's the boss, yeah.
And then I was a media person on the next day.
Winni TV made its first appearance.
Yep, it was so funny. I actually had so much fun with that though. Yeah, it was mean. I just hung out with the UCI guys, just wandered around with them, the Warner Bros guys, and they just filmed me talking about people crashing into us. We got hit by Nadine. Oh, nice. She like had a hugie and landed on top of us, and I just was like, ah! And the camera guy was freaking out, and I was like, this is so sick.
Will we see more Winni TV then? Like, you're obviously an outgoing person, and building something alongside racing these days seems to be what a lot of athletes are thinking about doing or trying to do. Like, could you see a bit of a YouTube future there?
Yeah, a lot of people have asked me to do a YouTube, and I'm trying to work out how to do it. My videographer and Charlie's media man, John, he's teaching me how to do things, which is amazing because then I'll be able to do it by myself. But so one day it'll happen. Interesting.
Have you got thoughts on what you want it to be like?
I don't know. I feel like my life's pretty cool. I do lots of random stuff, and I think just following that would be mean.
Yeah, like a vlog kind of
thing. Maybe not as cool as Charlie's or Wynn's or anything, but I'll try.
Well, that's still good. You got to start somewhere, right? Yeah, interesting. Well, watch this space. And then Latuile, 5th place there.
Yeah,
I guess you were sort of on a bit of a comeback, like fighting a bit on health and stuff.
Yeah, at that stage I was still gaining back my weight because it was like a week later, and I was still only up to 59 kgs then, and that's pretty light for me. And I just had no strength in my arms. But stage 1 was mean. I was second. I was like, I loved that stage in practice. I was just having so much fun. And I watched the GoPros, which is something that I've learned that I actually need to do. I didn't do it until Poland, but I discovered that it actually works for me.
Okay.
So I watched all the GoPros of stage 1 and was so ready, and I was just watching it on repeat, so hyped. And then I did really well in that one. And then stage 2, I was singing and that was a bit dumb, but hey. And then the rest of them were fine, but I was just too tired, just not able to hold on.
And then the night stage was just a bit trippy with the flight attendant disco and concussion
brain
and brain
damage
stuff going on.
But hey, that's okay.
Yeah. And then you say you're not feeling like fully primed. We got Morion coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
You spent a bit of time there earlier in the year, so I guess you're familiar with the area. But
yeah, I am a bit like riding with Greg and Morgan was mean. We didn't ride in Morion, but we rode just at their house, and that was so sick. So if it's anything like that, then I'm going to be stoked. But it's a 2-day race, which is pretty big, especially after being sick for 6 weeks straight.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be fun. Like, I don't know. I'll come in with a positive mindset, and hopefully it'll go well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What about World Champs though, right? We've got World Champs pretty much straight after it. Would that be a focus for you? Like, how are you thinking about it now with the illness and stuff? Like, would you ever be tempted to sit Morion out and get some rest and go all in on World Champs?
No, I would never do that.
Really?
I can't do it. I've already missed 2 races. I can't miss another one. I hate missing races. I get so much FOMO. I'm sitting there going, I want to be riding. No, I wouldn't miss the race. But yeah, World Champs is kind of a focus, but I've never ridden there, and the rest of the field has ridden there.
Yeah.
And it's at high altitude, which is something that I'm trying to work on, but I haven't been able to train in high altitude or done anything like that because I've been sick. But I'd like to try and focus on Morion a bit because I really like the style of riding that's in this area.
Yeah.
And I feel like Aletsch is a bit more physical.
Yeah, okay.
Which I like physical when I'm up to standard, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I'm just so excited for Morion because I know I've been looking forward to it all year since riding with Greg and Morgan, and it was like so sick. And
I've heard a lot of good things about the trails over there, so
I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good race for sure. And I guess like some of the top of the field, maybe like Ella obviously has said, she's been struggling with fatigue and stuff. Hattie, I think, was going to make a comeback for Worlds, but she's only just back on a bike after the hand injury.
Gnarly.
So I guess there's going to be a little bit less competition for the last part of the season, potentially, as well.
Yeah, and then Morgan's not able to race Morion either.
because of her hand,
And it's her home race, so that really sucks. But yeah, I saw Ella at Morion the other day. I was cycle touring through there. And I saw her and I was like, you're pre-riding, Ella, no. And then she was like, Winnie, I can't race. And I was like, oh, sorry, whoops. Accusations being thrown left and right here, whoopsie daisy. She was like, yeah, no, I would never pre-ride. I can't do it. And I was like, nor could I. She was like, good. We're both on the right side of history here.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we went for a swim together and she was just like, yeah, just not being able to do anything for the last month. And I was like, far out, that's gnarly.
That's brutal, isn't it? Yeah. There's been some struggles for the women's field this year, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty rough. Yeah. But that's life. Like, we're all here for it. It's part of the game, really, I guess.
Definitely. Let's talk a little bit about the sport and whether it's still sporting. I mean, you missed what everyone would call the good old days of Enduro, right? You weren't there when it was traveling the world and it was all 2 days and these big events and stuff. Like last year, as I think the lowest that it's been as a sport. This year it feels like it's coming back a bit. There's a bit more energy around it, more interest from the fans, which is cool. Like, how have you found it jumping in, having not been in the good old days? Like, what's your view on it?
Yeah, last year when I came in, I was like, this sport's not going to exist next year. It's just destroyed. Because there was just no media. No one knew what was going on. No one noticed that I won too. And that's, I mean, it doesn't bother me, but I was like, this kind of sucks. Like, surely
from a brand perspective, right? Like, it's not doing good things. Yeah.
Not doing good things. And I was like, oh, screwed. Like, nothing's going to happen. Maybe it'll last another year, maybe. But then coming in this year, having Warner Bros on the team, like, they're just so, like, they're trying. I didn't think they'd actually try for it, but they interview us all the time. Like, tomorrow I've got to go do hero shots, which is going to be so much fun. But they're, like, really invested and they love it. Like, all the videographers love watching us race.
Sweet.
And they interview us all the time. And they do this thing where they focus on different teams every week. Yeah. Which I think is really interesting. And I think they're going to bring it back. I hope they're going to bring it back. And adding little things like night racing, bringing back the 2-day racing, that was like the best thing for me because that's what I imagined enduro racing being like. and then bring back hiker bikes in the stages, like not in the stages, in the liaisons.
Yeah.
Like in Pietra, they had us carrying our bikes, and I was like, this feels like I'm at home. This is the sort of races that I want to be doing. This is what I always envisioned Enduro to be
like a proper adventure in the mountains kind of thing. Yeah.
So sick.
How would you want to see it progress then? Like if you were in charge of the sport and you were taking it from now to like what you'd like the future to look like, what sort of stuff would you do with it?
I would make it more technical.
Would you?
More steep and gnarly.
Okay.
But I'd also make more 2-day races and more hiker bikes, but also more night stages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just to add more media. And then also I think just like listening to the riders, which they've been doing better this year.
Yeah. They've
like taken what's everyone's been said. But I also think what I would do would be change the liaison times from the elite men to the junior women's.
Okay, they're just consistent for everyone at the minute, yeah?
Yeah. It's like little Lacey. She's tiny. She goes up to about my chest. It's expected to go at the same pace up the hills as Richie Rude. I'm like, how is that okay? Wait, not Lacey. Chloe's a tiny one. But yeah, it's like, I just don't understand how it's expected that these 17-year-old girls go as fast as the 30-year-old men who train their whole lives. And like me, I don't do any training. I'm expected to go as fast as Charlie, who's like a animal, you know? Like, I can't do that. But yeah, I don't know. I'd change a few things. But
yeah.
Mostly it's pretty.
What about venues? Because it's been, and I think probably rightly so, quite European centric, which has helped the teams with limited budget to get riders to events. So that's paid off. But hopefully as budgets start to come back, like where would you want it to go? I
would really love one at home.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So much potential.
Yeah.
Like Nelson, Craigieburn, best place to ride. My favorite spot, just an hour from where I live. And then like Queenstown, those 3 places, that would be my dream venues. They're just so cool.
Yeah.
And the riding's just mad. Like nothing I've ever ridden before. Coming here, it's like, oh yeah, the trails are good, but I could ride better ones at home, you know, like, I don't know. But they're mean here. Not saying anything against the European trails. But
what makes Craigieburn so good?
Well, my dad built some of the tracks,
fair enough. Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah.
But and they're also just like, it's just, I've never ridden there where the conditions have been bad. When it's dusty, it's good. When it's wet, it's good.
Yeah.
And when it's Heroda, it's just unbelievable. It's just like there's a mixture of alpine and like native beech trees, rooty kind of technical, interesting vibes.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think interesting and unique is the only way I can describe the track.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think Enduro would really fit into the riding there. But
nice. Yeah. Anywhere else in the world you'd like to go there? Like Chile and stuff looked really good back in the days. And
yeah, I'd really like to go riding anywhere in South America.
Yeah.
That would be so sick. And having a race there would be mean. I'd also like to go to Tasmania because the riding there looks crazy. And like 3 years ago, was it, they had one there? And that looked so cool just to get people into the Southern Hemisphere. And like, I don't know, I'd like to go there.
Nice. Have we heard any rumours for next year's calendar yet? I haven't, but
I've heard a bit, but I'm not sure I'm allowed to say.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But it's similar kind of vibes to this year.
Yeah, I'd heard that it might be 27 before we start to really spread our wings and get to some more exotic places. But
but I'd hope it happens one day.
Yeah.
And last year, they were doing some talking about 1 year getting it back to New Zealand, and they had some venues in mind. One of them was Christchurch, which is where I live.
Okay, sweet.
And that sounded pretty cool.
Yeah.
For downhill and enduro, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. It's just what everyone was saying.
Yeah.
That would be pretty sick if it did happen.
It would be cool. Well, they definitely seem to be trying to push it. Like downhill, we've got South Korea next year, I think.
Yeah, that's going to be so sick.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit different, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It'll be mean. I'm
Nice.
so excited to watch that.
So what are the plans then? Obviously, you've got this big off season of training coming up. The coach will be coming on board.
Yeah,
You're gonna get drilled.
Gonna get training. Gonna be a proper athlete. Yep, for sure.
What do you think? Do you think it's fitness that's the biggest thing keeping you off the top spot at the minute? Like, what would you go away and work on?
Yeah, my fitness.
Okay.
Definitely my fitness. That's the main thing.
That's good because that's it's hard work, but it's easy to fix.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
It's something.
there's a recipe. You follow the recipe. Crack on.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, I think I've had some bad luck this year. I hate to be making excuses, but I just feel like I had a bit more to offer this year. But then stuff happened, and just things got in the way, but that's okay.
That's life.
Yeah, c'est la vie. It's
Nice.
okay.
We should start wrapping up. We've got our final 4 questions that we've asked most people over the years. The first of those, if our listeners had £150, which is about 350 New Zealand dollars, to spend on improving their performance on a bike, other than buying a green one, what would you recommend they spend it on?
What they spend it on? A lift ticket to a bike park, because that helped me get better.
Yeah.
But then also, a good helmet. I feel like, because that just having something that you know is going to save you means you can push a bit more.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Fair enough. Do you wear the Specialized?
Yeah, I wear the Specialized helmet, and
yeah.
I love it. I think they're so good because they make me feel so safe, and I've never cracked one. So I'm like,
happy days.
Mean. And I've had some concussions in them, so like, whoa.
You've definitely hit them hard.
Yeah.
Fair play. All right, second one. If you could wind back the clock and sit down with yourself age 16, so not that long ago, what advice would you give her?
Do some training, Winnie. Don't sit around and do nothing. Don't be lazy. Go out and pedal. Yeah, I don't know. Probably that, and just have fun. Yeah.
Do you think you'd have, like, if you'd have started training too early, do you think it maybe would have put you off? Like, do you think you'd be where you are? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think 16, I was at the stage where I was racing hard enough that I would have been okay with training.
Okay.
And I would have still enjoyed it. But if it was maybe 15, I probably wouldn't have been vibing with it as much if I'd tried training.
Yeah, it might have put you off the whole concept of like racing if you thought you'd needed to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty stoked that I've got this far without training, but hopefully I can get a bit further with some
nudge
training.
it up for sure. So next one, if you could have a coaching session with anyone, past or present, who would it be and what would you want to learn from them?
Maybe, I know this is random, but Mops. Do you know Mops?
I do know Mops. Yeah,
Mops. Yeah. She coaches Ella and Booker.
I didn't know she was coaching them. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's just like so knowledgeable. She helped me out so much last year. She's the only reason why I survived in Europe last year.
Bit of a New Zealand hero.
Yeah,
right?
she's just such a legend, a Kiwi legend. So yeah, probably her.
Okay.
Because she's just smart and knows everything about the sport.
Yeah. And would it be like the fitness side of things you want to pick up brains on, or other stuff? Like, what would you want to learn from her? Probably
some of the fitness, and then maybe the nutrition.
Okay.
Because I don't think I eat very healthy.
Interesting.
And then also just like race prep.
Yeah.
And being in a good mindset, which I'm already moderately good at, but like, I don't know. It's always good to
Do you have much of a process, like in the run up to a race? Are you quite structured, or do you just kind of show up and be like, wee, let's go?
Show up and be like, wee, let's go. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I watch GoPros, but up until this year, I didn't watch GoPro beforehand. And I discovered that really helps me. But I'm learning these things still. Like, I tried doing some track walk at Canazay.
Okay.
Because I was like, oh, maybe that'll help me feel better on the tracks. And the ones that I did track walk, I felt mean on. And so I think it does help me. But I don't know. Yeah, just being around people who make me happy before racing and being in a not intense environment.
Okay. Making sure you're having fun, basically.
Yeah. For me, everything's about having fun. So.
Yeah. That's a good way to live, mate. I think you've made some solid choices there for sure. Right. Last one. What do you do every day that you feel benefits you? I ride every day, and that benefits me because, I don't know, it just keeps everything in my head on how to ride. Don't forget how to ride. Yeah.
But then also, this is a hard one. I try to read my book every day.
Okay.
Because I feel like racing overseas, I get exponentially dumber. So I'm like, I got to stay smart somehow. So I read every day, which I think is good. What sort of stuff do you read? Just like anything. Usually, like recently, I've been reading about a female athlete in running in the 70s, which is or 80s, is it? But yeah, so just anything. Keeping the brain going. Keep my brain moving a little bit, because otherwise I'd just melt away into nothingness. What were you going to study? Because you were going to study remote, weren't you? Yeah, that was the plan. Yeah, that was the plan. I was going to do environmental sciences, and I thought about doing environmental sciences and law, but then I ended up, I've got to remember, environmental sciences and statistics, I think I was doing, which was random because I don't really care about statistics. In fact, I kind of hate statistics, but I do care about the environment. So even though I'm flying across the world.
Well, it's hard to avoid, right? At least you've flown across the world once and not been going to and fro, I guess.
True that.
Yeah. So will you come back to that at some point, do you think? Would you ever think you'd do it alongside racing? Or?
Yeah, I will come back to it one day. I do want to study because I think it's a valuable thing to do.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if it'll be next year or the year after or the year after.
Who knows? See how the racing goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice one. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure hearing your story so far. I'm sure there is a lot more to come. And plus plenty of episodes of Winni TV. If people want to follow you, like where should they be looking?
Just on Instagram, Winni Goldsbury. That's me.
Nice. I'll stick a link in the show notes so people can find it.
Thank you.
But yeah, best of luck. Hope you have a bit more fortune through the rest of the year and a good off season of gains, and see you back in 2026.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me on the show, and yeah.
Pleasure. Thanks, mate.
Sweet as.